We're going to unpack the reasons for this ratings bonanza in our Seen and Unseen segment coming up with Raymond Arroyo. But meanwhile, the conservative enclave of Orange County, California, has just become the epicenter of the fight over the Golden State sanctuary policies. Yesterday, an amazing move, the Orange County Board of Supervisors voted to condemn California's sanctuary law, and it's now joining a U.S. Justice Department lawsuit that claims the entire system out there is unconstitutional. Joining us now with reaction is Orange County Supervisor Michelle Steele, a legal immigrant who, get this, was called a racist B-word over her willingness to cooperate with ICE. Along with Joe Alioto Veronice, he's a former California Criminal Justice Commissioner. Great to see both of you. Let's start with you, Michelle. When I read what they said about you, with your background, I'd like to say I was surprised, but I wasn't. Because if you buck the liberal trend in California on an issue like immigration, they feel like they have free license to call you any name in the book. Tell us how your life has been in the 24 hours since this decision was made.
Oh my God, I'm very happy about it because I was the one actually introduced the resolution because our local police law enforcement agencies, their hands been tied. So we really have to work because as a supervisor, Orange County has to be, safe. So public safety comes first. But it was really interesting because you can hear that I speak Korean and Japanese is my second language. And, English is my third. And I went through those legal process. And I'm a legal immigrant. And I was called racist Big B. It was just, what? I was surprised. But, in Asia, when you get called all these names, you have a long life. So I'm going to have a long life.
Oh, my goodness. Joe, I want to go to you. I'm sure you don't support calling
of
Michelle
course not. I wish
names, but I know you wouldn't.
Life.
I'm not dragging you into that, but it is.
Thank you.
That's horrific. I know you condemn that. But let's talk about what's happened since the big face-off with the Trump administration. California is seeing one large county, 3 million people, revolt against this. Do you blame Orange County for voting the way they did, given the fact that they don't want Orange County to turn into San Francisco? Meaning they don't want the hypodermic needles in the streets, they don't want the human feces all over all these blocks, they don't want the homelessness problem, and they don't want crime. They don't want what San Francisco has, double the rate of the state crime rate.
In San Francisco's defense, we don't want any of that stuff either. But as far as what Orange County is doing, this, I think, is just another political stunt. It's a lot like what the federal government's doing on the lawsuit. I question whether or not the supervisor's resolution will get past the attorneys on this. The lawsuit that was filed by ICE was filed against the state of California on preemption issues, that the federal law preempts state law. I think that law has actually been settled. Nobody here is arguing that state law preempts federal law. I think what the feds are saying is that we are interfering by telling our citizens and by telling our state representatives not to enforce immigration law. And I think the only way that the feds are going to actually win on that argument is if there's some sort of federal funding that's attached to it. Otherwise, I don't see them winning it. As far as Orange County is concerned, preemption is not, they don't have jurisdiction here because preemption is not their argument.
Well, let's get into preemption. We'll lose the entire viewing audience here. But let's get right to the nut of what's going on here. We have a resolution in Orange County that now requires that you announce, and Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, you announce when a prisoner is released, correct? You will announce it so people know when they will be released. Why would anyone be against that?
Last 3 months, we had 172 criminal aliens were released on the streets. As a supervisor, I already told you, it's like a public safety comes first. So immigration is under the federal law, and then this is totally unconstitutional law in the state that they just created. They created the chaos for between local government and federal government working together. So this one has to be stopped. That's the reason that Jeff Sessions sued. And then now we are joining Jeff Sessions. We just gave county council.
It's about safety. Let's boil this all down, guys. This is about safety. This is about security. This is about the well-being of citizens of the United States and legal immigrants. And Joe, I want to play for you. This is Javier Becerra, the Attorney General, yesterday, the day before yesterday, talking about this situation. Let's watch.
State law is state law, and it's my job to enforce state law. I will do so, and we want to make sure that every jurisdiction, including Orange County, understand what state law requires of the people and the subdivisions of the state of California.
I mean, does that mean a lawsuit against the sheriff's department or an arrest of the sheriff?
Listen, I think I just answered that.
So I'm picturing this, because we've had these types of crimes, horrific crimes. An illegal alien rapes a 10-year-old girl and does his time and then is released. There are sanctuary politicians who believe the federal government should not be notified and that individual should be put back out on the streets in a sanctuary state. Joe, is that what you're in favor of?
No. If you're talking about somebody that has been convicted, tried and convicted, I am not one of those political people that would believe that that person should be back on the streets. Absolutely
That's happening
not.
all the time.
That, to me, is a violent criminal. What we're talking about, though, is due process, because a lot of these people that the supervisor's talking about that are being released from jail, some of them are being released on bail, released on OR, but these are people that have merely been arrested. These are not people that have been prosecuted and tried. And people in the United States, unfortunately for ICE, the 14th Amendment applies, and it requires that people get due process before they're actually convicted, before you can say that this person is a murderer
but Joe, they're
or a
in the
rapist
country
or whatever.
illegally. They become
true,
immediately deportable aliens. They're in the country
but that's ICE's
illegally.
issue. That's ICE's enforcement issue.
Right, that's why they announce it, and then
say.
ICE can come pick them up and get them out of the country. I mean, we act like these people who we're talking about are American citizens. They are not citizens. This is not their country.
Nope.
They came in illegally, and now they want the red carpet rolled out, which I guess California does. Michelle, you go ahead.
Yeah, we can go back to San Francisco, what happened. Because Francisco Sanchez, who was convicted for 7 times and who was deported for 5 times, City of San Francisco refused to transfer him to ICE, and guess what happened? Kaylee Steinle got killed. So this is exactly what we want to prevent. That's why we want to get out of that sanctuary state and sanctuary, against the sanctuary state so Orange County can be safe. We always want to come safe first. So our Sheriff Hutchins, who decided to put all the list of inmate release, that the list is coming out in public so everybody can see it. You know what? She's doing the right thing. And Becerra just threatened yesterday that Becerra is going to arrest her. It's almost ridiculous.
Now, so the sheriffs are going to get arrested and the illegals will get released. That's great. So the sheriffs are actually trying to keep people safe. They're going to be arrested by the state and the illegal immigrants get to go free. Joe, just a final point. Go ahead.
Sheriffs will have to follow state law, and if Orange County wants to challenge state law, they should file a separate lawsuit. I don't think that this is the right place. I think this is a political stunt. And as far as the Kate Steinle case, horrible, horrible circumstances. But a distortion of the facts on exactly what happened now.
How many Americans have to be sacrificed for this this fantasy that open borders is a good thing? I mean, I just keep asking this. How many Americans have to die in DUIs, be brutalized, women be abused and domestic abuse, children be, horrible things done to them? How often does this have to happen until people say, no more, cannot do it anymore?
Citizens and non-citizens are doing that. ICE needs to enforce federal immigration policy. The state doesn't have to.
California wants to put out the welcome mat because San Francisco doesn't have enough troubles. Where the homelessness crisis, with the filth in the streets, that report that came out a couple of weeks ago. If I'm San Francisco, I want to try to clean up, our act here. But you guys want to bring more people in who cause more problems. I don't understand that for the life of me. I will never understand that. But we're out of time, guys. Joe, great segment. Michelle, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.